So, integrity is one of those topics that many of us think we know so much about. Much is made about integrity and what it is. And unfortunately, like so many different things, there is a lot of different information out there that is misinformation, that is things that we thought we knew, we've been taught, we thought things work a certain way. A definition is a set definition, and all of those different things. And I want to start this time together, and I want to thank all of you who are watching right now the live, who will watch the recordings once they're posted on YouTube, Rondo, and some different channels. Thank you so much for taking this time with me. Thank you for your love. Thank you for those of you that answered the question that I posted on Facebook about integrity. What is it? What does it mean to you? Thank you so much. I want to say right now that if you have a different opinion or you're not ready yet to fully embrace and understand what integrity really is, or what we're finding out integrity to be, I want you to know that I still love you so much. I value you in my life. We are going through a period of time when our authentic selves are being shown. We're coming to find out what integrity really is all about. And the integrity definition that so many of us have been taught throughout the years from our various programming and background actually comes from a very matrix-like setting. And in case if you haven't noticed, the matrix is crumbling right now as we speak. So we get to look at some different things of what these different definitions might mean and the reality of them. So like I said, I want to look at integrity today, and I want to look at what integrity is not. And some of the answers I received on Facebook are the book answers, things that I believe once upon a time that integrity was. One of them I've heard, even recently, I've been told this by so many wonderful people, that doing the right thing, integrity is doing the right thing when no one else is looking. But that's not what integrity is. Another answer that was given is integrity is doing everything with excellence. But here's the issue with that. Can we really do everything with excellence all of the time? We're going to mess up. And so when we do mess up, we are no longer, according to that definition, walking in true integrity. There's so many different. Integrity means somebody who is honest, who never lies, who is telling the truth. Some people might even use it. The coffee was full of integrity because it was real coffee. It wasn't fake. But is that, again, really what integrity really is? Because integrity is not taking, well, let's go to the definition first. Let's go to the Webster definition of, I just dropped something here, my writing pad, to give you the definition of integrity. The first one is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principle and moral uprightness. That is the definition that many of us have been taught growing up, especially among fundamentalist Bible Christian circles, and perhaps others in a religious sense and circle, was say that integrity is a quality of being honest and having strong moral principles and moral uprightness. So by that definition, if you never cheated on your wife, if you never ever committed an immoral act, then you are a person of integrity. And that's one that is often used. But the second definition that we find in the Webster's dictionary is the state of being whole and undivided. And perhaps this definition actually brings us into more of a quantum understanding of what integrity really is, and the illusion that so many of us have lived under in believing that a person had integrity when it comes out. And I will give some examples if I feel I'm able to share them, of so many situations where a person was not truly walking in integrity, but yet it looked like it on the surface. And then later on, it comes out and we come to understand, but so many people misunderstanding it because they're like, well, that person was an honest person. How could it be that we suddenly find out that they were doing something that was not morally correct in their life? So I can tell you right now, integrity is not a moral code. I'm holding a Bible in my hand right here. And what has happened with integrity is a lot of people have said that as long as I follow the Word of God, the Bible, that I am walking in integrity. The problem with that model of thought of saying that if I am following the Bible, I'm following the 10 Commandments, that 9 times out of 10, when I am following the Bible according to that form of moral code and integrity, I am actually taking someone else's interpretation of that. And with that, I am now saying that with that interpretation, I am living according to those laws or those rules as set in this book. It could be anything. I'm not particularly picking upon the Bible here, but since as an example, a lot of people give where they will say, well, I'm walking in integrity because I'm aligned with the Bible. Well, are you aligned with the Bible, or are you aligned with someone's teachings of the Bible and their interpretation? Because a lot of the things that are taught in churches are not in integrity according to the Word of God. They're not in there. For example, nowhere in the Bible does it say that a woman dressed modestly must have a dress down below her knee. That is an interpretation. That is a law that was set by the church authorities, denomination, whatever it is, to set that. And they tell you that now, if you come to this particular church, that is your job and obligation to wear your dress down to that level. That is a moral law that is actually written, that it has nothing necessarily to do with you as a person walking in integrity. It is a standard. It is a standard whereby your integrity could be measured by, and it is a model of moral conduct. Now, another would be a legal contract, a business contract. That also is not integrity. By following the business contract does not mean that I am a person of integrity. And I will explain this in a moment. Stay with me. This may be new and you're going, what? Daniel's crazy. Of course I am. But that's beside the point, right? But as we walk through integrity, we begin to understand it's not a moral code that we follow. It is not a legal contract. It is not a business contract. None of those things that necessarily can be written are what being in integrity, being written and then followed. That does not mean that you are now in integrity. I hope you're following what I'm saying. I'm doing the best of my ability to reach in and understand and now share this with you so that we together can grow and understand and be drawn together as a community to realize and examine some of the things that have held us back so many different times. Because here's the thing. So many of us have believed, myself included, that if I am walking in integrity, that I am living according to moral laws. I am walking according to the constitution of my church, the bylaws, that by doing that, I'm walking in integrity. But what is missing here? The thing that is missing here is actually that our body, soul, and spirit are in alignment. Take the example that I said earlier of a woman, since so many religious organizations pick on the women. She's got to dress modestly now. She has to get herself a dress. She doesn't want to wear that dress, but now that she has joined that church, that she has, gotten saved, she has accepted the membership of that church, she's now under the obligation of wearing a dress below her knees in order to fulfill that obligation and not be reprimanded and disciplined inside of that church. But she doesn't want to wear a dress. Yet she feels like she has to, because in that situation, she has to do that, or else she will be looked down upon by the leadership of the church. She doesn't want to do it. She has free choice, but she may not know that. She believes that she's gotta follow the law. She's new. She just got saved. She doesn't know what's in the code of conduct. She doesn't know what exactly is all the things of what Jesus said, what Paul said, or what Moses said. All she knows is the church told her she needs to wear a dress and it needs to be below the knee. And therefore, yes, she is doing the best she knows how. In that sense, she is walking according to the integrity of her heart, the best she knew at that given moment. But she doesn't want to do it. But she feels obligated to wear this dress and wear it below the knee because everybody else is wearing the dress below the knee. And she won't get those bad, dirty looks from the deacons, from the elders, from the pastor, if she wears the proper dress. She gets accepted into that fellowship. Everybody's excited. Yay, we're so happy for you. You are jumping in 100%. But the problem is, as I mentioned, the integrity is not there. She is not with her whole body, soul, and spirit putting that dress on because she wants to, because she is living to her full potential and the real proper understanding of the being, the state of being whole, her living in a state of where she is whole and undivided. You see, most people, when they believe they're walking in integrity, they are going against themselves. Let me explain what I mean by this. You have a desire that comes into your heart. You have a desire to, buy a nice car. Let's say, for the sake of this example, you have the desire to drive or to buy a BMW. But your mind says, I don't have the money for it, and I don't think it's a thing that I'm supposed to do. In fact, if I did, I would probably have that car stolen from me. Do you see what I'm saying? Your mind and your heart is not in alignment. Your heart wants the BMW, but your mind, your ego, your logic is telling you, no, no, no. And here's all the reasons why we cannot do this. Because can't afford it. We'll never own can't afford the parts of the BMW, whatever it is. People will look down upon me if I buy the BMW, instead of going, it's in my heart. What if my heart is in alignment where I'm able to reach into my creative understanding of my heart and not look at it as a bad thing, but now align my heart with my head to where they're actually able to work together and actually begin to work together as one instead of fighting with each other. You see, that's what a lot of people deal with, depression and misunderstanding, because we're not in alignment with ourselves. And then you bring in your body, an injury, something else that's going on, not taking care of your physical health along the journey. And now you have your body, your mind, and your heart are warring with each other, and now they're fighting. And they're, instead of working together, they're fighting each other. And here's the problem. You are one person, and you got a body, soul, spirit, heart, feelings, emotions, all of that, kidneys, all the other organs are all part of your body. But here's where the difficult part comes. So many people believe that if they follow the rules, they're now in integrity. You mean if I follow, I know what some of you are saying, you mean that you're telling me that if I want to break the rules, that if I break the rules, I'm actually walking in integrity? Yes. That is one of the freeing things to begin to understand. When you find your personal freedom and understand it's not about rules, it's not about laws, it's not about legalism, it's not about who you're supposed to be, it's actually who you are. It's who you are. Now you can change if you so desire. If the desire of your heart is to change, to become a better person through personal development, through growth, through, getting yourself a coach, someone that can actually help you by hanging out with those people that you want to become like. Use my example. If you want to own a BMW, hang around people who own a BMW. See what they do. Understand how they manage their money. Find out how they got from where they were to where they are now as a BMW owner, and then do those things and allow yourself to come in alignment where you're bringing yourself truly into integrity. That is a big key to understanding. It's not about doing what the preacher says. It's not about doing what the governor says. It's not about doing what mom and dad said to do. It's about finding out your purpose, your reason why you've come upon this earth, and reaching that understanding that when I find it and I begin to walk in integrity, when I begin to be honest with myself, when I begin to understand it's not all these rules and what I'm supposed to do, and I'm, feel like somebody's looking over my shoulder all the time, I begin to tap into my own intuition. I begin to tap in and connect with source, which is where it all comes from. That in those moments are the moments that I actually am walking in full integrity in my heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. I'm going to use an example. I know it would be slightly controversial, but it's with one of our presidents that had the scandal that broke out a few years ago. You all know who I'm talking about. The former president, Bill Clinton. Remember Bill Clinton, President Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton, the scandal when his intern, Monica Lewinsky, was, they were messing around underneath the desk of the Oval Office, all right? This became national news. And a lot of us, I was old enough to understand what was going on. I guess I was like 15, 16, somewhere around that time. And I remember when former President Bill Clinton looked in the camera and he said, "I did not have sex with that woman." We all saw it. And what was interesting about it was how his eyes shifted. Even though he looked right at the camera, his eyes shifted as he said, "I did not have sex with that woman." Now, it came out later that his DNA, his sperm, was found on the dress of Monica Lewinsky. Not a good day for the poor guy. Here's a case in point that might floor many of you, and that is, would you have rather this situation, this affair with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky to have been hid from all of us and all of us told he was a good family man and that he was full of integrity? Or would you rather know that Bill Clinton was actually truly walking in his own integrity? See what I'm saying? Bill Clinton wanted to have sex and did have sex more than likely with Monica Lewinsky. That is who he was. That is what he did. He happened to be the president of the United States at the time, and as a result, it turned into a national scandal. Now, there were other things that went on, including the prime minister, Netanyahu, at that time was blackmailing him and saying if he didn't do the right thing, he was going to tell everything. I'm not sure what was going on about all of that and the pressure that Bill Clinton was under during this entire time. There's a lot of different things that many of us don't know. But for Bill Clinton to have lived a different lifestyle just because he was a president of the United States actually would mean that he was not walking in integrity. And yet we have taken the definition of integrity to mean it's someone in good moral standing. That's not necessarily the truth. So many times, especially in Christian circles and religious circles, we tend to focus upon the person who says the things that they're supposed to say, who speaks with their mouth the things that you're supposed to speak. And that is considered someone who's walking in integrity. Oh, they've put in their service 20, 30 years. They are such an amazing person. And yet that person, that's why so many people point out the hypocrisy, especially among religious circles, because people are not walking in integrity. You can speak the words, you can say you believe the Bible, but do you? You can say you follow the laws of the company, you can regurgitate them, you can teach them, you can tell other people, this is what you need to do, these are the steps to be able to be a successful businessman, this is how you do all of these different things, and you can go and you can do those things. And you can be considered an upright and honest person, and honesty is a very good thing. Don't get me wrong. I am all for being an honest, upright person. Yet, if we are not doing those things, if we are not being a person of integrity, then we are not an integrous person. If we are not doing all the things that we speak with our mouth, and we're not in alignment with that, then we are not even in integrity with our own self. And as a result, we are fighting ourselves, we are doing damage with ourselves. It can literally affect our health. It can literally affect our body, where we literally start getting pains and aches and falling apart. I mean, a lot of people have realized, a lot of doctors have actually done studies and shown the proof of the fact that if you have anger and bitterness, it can cause so much different, the body to malfunction and all these type of things. So how much more would we want to realize and understand and come to acknowledge this understanding that it is better for us to be free and to walk in our own integrity than to say we believe something, say we're under certain rules, that we're under certain obligations, when the reality of the matter is we are only doing these things absolutely because we really are supposed to be part of that institution, to be part of that organization, to be part of whatever it is that we're doing. We're putting on the show to get by. We're not really walking forthright when it comes down to the end of the day. And this, my friends, there's a couple reasons why I wanted to come on and share these things with all of you. Part of it is the things I've been learning. Part of it's the things that I've been coming to understand. It's just that as the matrix comes down, it's so beautiful to come back to be our authentic selves, to understand we came to be here for a purpose. And that purpose is way greater than so many people have taught us. It's way greater than organization. It's way greater than sending money to, a place that needs our money. It's way greater than all of those things, because our purpose in walking according to our integrity can literally change the entire world and the consciousness of everybody. And that is way far better than simply walking around and saying, well, I never have cheated. I've never had an affair. I've never done these things, so that we can get the trophy, the participation trophy, and we really haven't accomplished what we should have accomplished upon this earth. So many times I've heard people, especially other pastors, some of you may know I actually am an ordained Baptist minister. And it's interesting, the journey that I've been able to be on. And I went through a period of time when I was able to be surrounded by several different pastors and see different things and how they talked, and so many comments that are made behind closed doors. And one of the biggest concerns that a lot of pastors have is fellow pastors who have had moral failure. One of the reasons why is a lot of pastors have not been walking in integrity according to the understanding of what we've just described here. And this is the problem. Let me explain. And I am coming from a background of Baptist fundamentalist type background, so I'm sharing some of my experiences. Yours may be different. I'm not endorsing beliefs one or the way other. I'm using these examples to help the collective to understand, and those that will hear my voice in the coming days as the replays are played, to understand this view of something that could literally impact your entire life and really change your perspective to become more free. Because it's more important that you're freed from the bondage of even legalism to understand who you're supposed to be. So many pastors of churches have been lulled into the sleep of the understanding that as long as they preach against two things, maybe three, okay? Three different issues that if they preach on them enough, they can get by in the church. One of them is homosexuality. The second one is abortion. And the third is adultery, immorality. And they have learned that if they preach on those two or three things, depending on the church, depending on the congregation, that the people tend to be happy. They say the pastor preached strong this Sunday, and he brought the word with power. He gave him a good punch. And here's the problem. Some of the pastors who have preached the biggest hellfire and brimstone sermons against, let's say, homosexuality, not always, but there's been a number of cases where those same pastors were having a relationship with another man sexually. Some of the pastors who have preached the hottest sermons against abortion, they have had side chicks, other women in their life that they actually were encouraging to get abortions because it was their child to cover up, because of the shame, because of the reproach, because of everything that would come upon them if it actually came out in front of everybody. This isn't just, some people say, well, that only is going on in Catholic churches. No, it's going on in Baptist churches. It's going on in Pentecostal churches. It's going on in Methodist, Lutheran, all of the churches. Stuff like this is happening. And quite frankly, this is just the surface. This is just the beginning of everything that's going on. And somewhere along the way, pastors believe if they preach it hot enough that somehow they won't fail. But here's the problem. If your heart wants that lifestyle, And it doesn't matter how many times you're slamming the Bible on your pulpit. Doesn't matter what you're saying with your mouth. Oh, I would never do that. I would never commit those things. It doesn't matter what you say. It matters who you are and what you're actually doing. That is what actually matters. And so sometime we have to dial back a little bit and examine and even take some time off from some things to take a look, to understand and try to recognize what is really our belief system. Is it serving us? Is it serving the collective? Is it working for the highest good of all involved and of all mankind? Another litmus test that I want to give to you today is my belief of what integrity is. Is it a universal principle that will work everywhere in the world? Because here's the thing, especially for us in America, a lot of the belief systems here in America only work under a political or American system of law, an American system of so many different things. Take, for example, over in like Africa, different places, that even the Middle East, some of the Arabs there, even going all the way back to the Bible. There were men who had multiple wives. Ironically, the Bible doesn't necessarily say that's wrong. Yet, from time to time, we have an underlying message that in America, we don't do that. Now, that's one of those things we all have to work out and understand and try to, tap into our intuition. What are we going to do about those things? But is it really true that a prince in Africa or, an Arab Bedouin now has to get rid of all his extra wives because of American system of thought that we have to change everybody and people who are under that? I am just asking questions to help all of us take a look at some of those things. If that man, that's part of how he was raised, but that's also his integrity. If that's what he loves and that's who he is, wouldn't you rather know that he is fully stepping in who he is rather than pulling the wool over you and telling you he's something else? And later on, you find out he has 5 wives. Wouldn't you rather see him walking in his purpose and his understanding than being all polished and just living a certain way, going with the crowd and pretty much accomplishing nothing in life but talking a good talk, speaking a good word, even being encouraging to other people? That can be absolutely awesome. But even better, I think, is when we begin to understand the absolute freedom, the absolute breakthrough that we literally can have when we begin to understand what true integrity is walking in total alignment with our heart, with our mind, with our body, with our soul, and with our spirit, all aligned and all connected with source, all connected with our higher self and with our purpose and understanding. And the day that we begin to realize this and begin to, another way to say it, whether this makes sense to some of you or not, is actually to open up all of your chakras and get them in alignment, because in so doing, you will see things happen around you. You will attract a new level of people. People will fall in love with a man and with a woman that is truly walking in integrity with themselves, because they have nothing to hide. They're not trying to live a certain way to fool you. They are living in the matter where it's all clear, it's all understood. It is Not necessarily meaning that they have everything just all out there. Don't misunderstand me. But they are walking in their authentic self, not doing something just as simply because they were told to do it. Stepping in to their passion, stepping in to their purpose, stepping into who they really are, and doing those things first, and then being able to also speak them because they already are those things. Not just following a list of rules for the sake of following the list of rules, so you can be part of a country club, so you can be part of a organization and be affiliated with them, but it's because you are in alignment with complete and 100% alignment with that organization. You're in complete and 100% alignment with your belief system and with that group of people that you are aligning with. And when we begin to make decisions based on who we're aligned with, we don't have to shove ourselves into a shoebox that we don't fit. You see, the formal understanding of integrity is the equivalent of taking a square pin and trying to put it in a round hole, or vice versa. The same is true. Trying to put a round pin in a square hole, it won't fit in there. And the truth of the matter is, it never was supposed to. Some of us are not supposed to fit in some of the organizations we've tried to belong in. Some of us are not supposed to fit in some of the churches we've gone to in the past. Some of us are not supposed to try to fit in with the crowds because that crowd is not where we belong. But some of us, sometimes it gets so lonely out here, sometimes that we jump in out of our loneliness and begin to try to fit a mold that we won't ever be able to fit if we truly are walking in the proper understanding of integrity. There is room for being able to grow into that integrity. There is room to be able to find yourself, to be able to love yourself, to be able to tap in to who you really are. There is room to be able to forgive yourself, to take time for yourself, to be gentle with yourself, to remind yourself that most of us have lived our entire lives on this earth. For me, I'm turning 41 this year. I know some of you watching are older than that. Some of you are younger than that. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we have been placed upon this earth for a particular mission, for a particular reason. And part of that, I know part of my mission and part of the reason why I'm here and have gone through many of the things that I've gone through in life is to be able to come through the other side and share something like this that could literally change your life. It is in the process of changing my life. And that is, as you crack outside of the box, you begin to understand all the rigid four corners of that box really don't matter. A lot of people have told us the four corners are for your safety. The roles are for your safety. No, they're not. Those roles are actually to keep you dumb and insignificant. Those roles are actually to keep you from finding your purpose and walking in true integrity. Those roles are actually trying to keep you from actually being able to move mountains. Those roles are actually keeping you from moving forward and accomplishing the purpose that you have been placed upon this earth. My friends, as I wrap this up, thank you once again for watching, and for those of you that will watch the replays, thank you so much. It blesses my heart to see you and for you to be a part of this. I want you to know, no matter what you're going through today or you're going to go through in the coming days as the matrix falls apart, as more and more of us will realize our belief system is as broken as hell itself. It is unnerving. It is the most unnerving thing to come to realize that what we've put our faith and trust in all of these years wasn't there in the first place. It was a false belief. It was something that never did serve us, but it got us through that period of time. And I just want you to know that no matter what you are going through, you are needed on this earth right now. You are needed on this earth right now in the month of April, as I'm recording this on the 2nd, in 2022, you are needed for something amazing. This is the most amazing time that anybody has experienced in this lifetime. And so you have been placed here on this earth, as have I, to accomplish something amazing. It's going to look a whole lot different than what we thought it would look. It's going to look a whole lot different than everything we've been told it's going to look like. But I can tell you this, my friends, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be freedom. And that, my friends, is worth going through a lifetime of hell so we can come through the other side in amazement, in understanding, in incredible. But my friends, if you are able to, I encourage you, I implore you, look into this state of integrity and ask yourself, am I really walking in the matter to where I am in alignment with who I am? Or am I continuing to live according to someone else's alignment, according to someone else's truth, according to someone else's teaching? Because that won't serve you to be a follower when you actually are the number one leader of your life. And don't forget also this, that we have free choice. Free choice is the secret of the universe. I just told you a secret that if you will realize and understand, you have free choice. You get to choose. You can take it, you can leave it. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. There's no attachments here. I felt led to speak this today as I've been putting a lot of thought and been doing a lot of trainings and been reading some amazing books, been doing some personal development. It's been laid upon my heart and my mind to just share this with you, that so many people have gone to their grave having never truly walked in integrity because they've been living a lie their entire life. And yet they were good moral people, but they weren't being honest with themselves and they weren't being honest with anybody else. And that honestly means they were a liar. You take of that what you will. But I hope that this was helpful for you. I look forward to reading your comments. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to reach out to me. Give this some thought. And we look forward to the coming days as the matrix continues to come down, as we continue to come to understand our authentic selves, who we are, why we've been placed upon this earth, and one of the most amazing periods that there is. So you all have an amazing weekend. We'll see you all very soon. Namaste.